Welcome. We know you value your time and want to stay informed, so let's dive right in. Today we're looking at Nigerian national renewal, but from a really interesting angle. It's coming from voices within the Nigerian diaspora itself.
That's right. We've been looking at sources that aren't just the usual commentary. They lay out this framework called the Nigerian ecosystem. And the core idea is that the global Nigerian community could actually be key to, well, transformative change back home.
Okay, the Nigerian ecosystem, that sounds different. So the main idea is seeing Nigeria as a kind of living system. Can you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, exactly. It uses this biological analogy. Think of like a rainforest or a coral reef. Every single part, big or small, it has a role, right? They're all connected. So this framework asks you to see Nigeria like that. Every Nigerian, whether they're, say, in Lagos or London, is a vital part of this system. And the health of the whole thing depends on everyone participating, collaborating.
Right, so it's not just a metaphor. The sources really frame this as needing a big shift in thinking. The mental reset, I think they called it, getting away from things like tribal silos, class suspicion, and reactive thinking.
Precisely. It's not just about pointing out what's wrong. It's suggesting a whole new mindset to actually fix things. The argument is that, these old divisions and just reacting emotionally, that's held things back. So the foundation they're proposing is built on civic cooperation, strategic dialogue, and collective intelligence.
Okay.
It's really about moving away from being fragmented towards, well, having shared goals and actually working together.
And it's clear this isn't meant to be some government program pushed from the top down.
Not at all. The emphasis is definitely on everyday people taking the reins. The sources specifically mention people like diasporans, market women, students, retirees, and reformers. They're all seen as the key players here. The idea is that the energy comes from the people themselves, working together, not waiting for politicians.
Got it. And this ecosystem idea, it comes with some core values, right? What are
Yeah.
the essentials?
Yeah, there are three main principles that really stand out in the material we looked at. First, it's about inclusivity across ethnic and class lines, really breaking down those old barriers, fostering a sense of shared identity.
Okay, inclusivity. What else?
Second is pushing for civic literacy over partisan noise. So getting people engaged based on actual facts and understanding, not just political shouting matches. And the third one is purposeful engagement over performative outrage. Basically, taking real action that gets results rather than just venting frustration online without a plan.
That makes sense. Action over just words. Now, a huge piece of this, and I think this will really connect with you listening, is the diaspora's role. The sources are clear. It's got to be more than just sending money home, right?
Absolutely. That's a really key point. The financial help, the remittances, they're acknowledged as huge, obviously. But the argument being made is pretty strong. Money without mission is not enough. The real untapped potential seems to be in moving from just individual financial help to something more organized or strategic.
Yeah, the sources talk about the diaspora moving from success in isolation to significance in unity. And you mentioned this idea of strategic distance earlier. How does that work? What could Nigerians abroad actually do to leverage that distance?
Well, that strategic distance idea is interesting. Being outside the day-to-day political churn, it potentially gives you a clearer view, maybe, and makes coordination easier without getting stuck in local arguments. And the sources give some really concrete examples, like diaspora professionals setting up formal mentorship programs for young people in Nigeria.
That's true.
Or organizing, say, verified investment funds, pooling resources to back specific development projects. That could be powerful. And then there's the political side, like pushing for diaspora voting rights so their voices are actually counted. Even things like sponsoring media literacy programs or civic education in local languages that tackles that partisan noise point we mentioned.
Right, it shifts from just individual success stories to collective action.
Exactly. It's about collective impact. There's a line that sums it up well. We are not too far to help. We are too informed to stay silent.
Yeah, that's powerful. So, okay, how does this whole ecosystem actually get started? The sources say it begins locally.
Yes, very much a grassroots thing. Don't wait for some big announcement. The idea is to start right where you are. In the groups you're already part of, professional networks, cultural associations, your alumni group, even online communities. The call to action is literally within your WhatsApp group, your Zoom conference, your town hall gathering. Start there.
And what do these groups do once they decide they want to be part of this? Are there steps?
Yeah, the sources actually lay out a pretty clear step-by-step approach. It's quite practical. First, figure out the group's identity. What connects you all? Profession, culture, faith, whatever it is.
Okay, define the group.
Then, Set 1 or 2 actual civic goals for the year. Something concrete, like maybe sponsoring a scholarship back home or organizing an online town hall on a policy issue.
Right, tangible goals.
Then set up a clear structure. Who's leading? Maybe rotate leadership. Who takes notes? Who handles communication? Just basic organization so things actually happen.
Accountability.
Exactly. And finally, create what they call a dashboard. Basically, a shared online space. Could be simple to track ideas, track donations, if any, track the impact you're making. Keep it transparent.
So it sounds like it's trying to channel all that energy people spend online, maybe arguing or sharing forwards, into something productive.
That's precisely the idea. Moving away from, as the material puts it, endless arguments and WhatsApp forwards that lead nowhere. The goal is to turn these existing social networks into social engines for actual change, doing things, not just talking.
And are there examples of what these social engines might produce, specific initiatives?
Yes, the sources float some interesting ideas, things like a diaspora civic fellowship, maybe monthly Zoom calls where diaspora experts discuss policy relevant to Nigeria.
Policy roundtables.
Or ecosystem innovation pods, like little contests or challenges to brainstorm solutions for specific problems.
Yeah.
Even something like a diaspora budget tracker, where people collaborate to monitor how public money is being spent. That fosters accountability.
Wow, okay.
And civic storytelling labs, focusing on sharing positive stories, highlighting community heroes. That can be really motivating, you know?
So these organized groups, with their clear goals and structures, they become visible signs of progress, like signals.
Exactly. These structures, these initiatives, they act as signals. Signals to the members themselves that they're making a difference, signals to their communities, and signals back to Nigeria about the diaspora's commitment and capability.
This whole framework, the Nigerian ecosystem, it's definitely a different way of looking at things. If you had to boil it down, what's the main takeaway for our listeners?
I think the core message is that real national progress, it needs everyone involved, systematically. It requires a sense of ownership from all Nigerians. You can't just wait for the government or just criticize. It's not about needing a few superheroes. It's about lots of ordinary people being active citizens, including, importantly here, these active citizens in exile.
And the vision for the diaspora in this model is pretty uplifting, isn't it?
It really is. The sources paint a picture of a diaspora that can lead by example, be disciplined, organized, wise, and ready to contribute constructively. It circles back to those core ideas. Structure instead of strife, purpose instead of just propaganda, and not uniformity, but unity over division.
It leaves you with that final thought from the material, doesn't it? The future is not a place we enter, it's a place we build.
Definitely gives you something to think about regarding how anyone, anywhere, might contribute to that building. Thanks, this was really insightful.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating concept to explore.